Now we're recording. Hello, everybody. We're getting ready to start our meeting. It's only like 7 minutes late, but we've been having fun talking to each other. And we got a few things to cover tonight. It's the usual, so nothing exciting or different. I'm going to share my screen now. And that's Lisa in her new little size 8 dress. We were just talking about that. Lisa's birthday is tomorrow, and we just got through singing happy birthday to her, but we spared all of you that. Okay, and here we go to my PowerPoint, and let's go up here to the beginning. And we're going to do the same thing we always do. We're going to do our little gathering of friends, the healthy games, the Beyond Your Biology, and then today's success story. So let me get this thing out of the way. Slideshow from current slide. There we go. Let's go on here. So I thought today we might share some useful information, like how we eat out, and maybe we could get some tidbits from each other about where we get to eat healthy. And I put our most simple treat is, I don't know, again, know which one I'm going to pick, but I'll look through here with the rest of you. Okay. When I need to eat and I'm out, I go to Subway because I can get the grilled chicken and I can pick out my salad, and boom, that's a quick one for me. That's where I go to get my lean and green. I hear bird mom's bird. Or is that you, Cheryl?
No, I'm in another room.
It's me, and I actually have them covered, and they don't shut up.
I know what you mean.
They know it's not time for bed.
I know.
You didn't fool them. Go ahead, Tony.
My most sinful treat is apple fritters.
Oh.
Apple fritters.
I can't go around them. They just call on me, and I go, I can't have them. You cannot have one of them, and I go, oh.
Yeah, he does it. That's for sure. Who's next?
I'm going to say, when I eat a healthy meal out, my favorite place is the Golden Corral. You can pick all your salad and your meats, and it's if I'm bad, I could get a dessert.
That's the reason I don't go to Golden Corral.
Yeah, I know.
It's not the first part, it's the second part that gets me.
I know.
I end up saying, well, I'm only here just this one time, and I don't have to have that much. And there's so much there to pick from. And so I just don't go in the door to begin with.
But they have sugar-free cookies.
And they do.
Yeah, they do.
So that's cool. I love Golden Corral. I'm right there with you. And you can eat good there. A lot of selection. Next.
Any buffet is very hard.
Yeah.
Where? Oh, yeah, any buffet because it's all you can eat. That's for sure. Who's next?
Let's see, my favorite healthy meal to cook is, I've got two.
Oh,
I got my
squash
stew that I make with zucchini and summer squash and celery and all sorts of good. And that I have made it and everything, so anybody on the 5-in-1 can have it. And then my homemade spaghetti sauce and meatballs, and they are for somebody who's on the 5-in-1.
Yeah.
Because I use the Metafast Parmesan cheese puffs instead of breadcrumbs. And then I use the Southwestern eggs, which is not available right now, instead of regular eggs and things.
That's a great idea. I told my sister about coating her meat in those Parmesan cheese puffs. That was a really good idea, yeah.
I use that for almost anything that you would have used a breadcrumb or a coating in. I like my eggplant Parmesan, Connie. That's what I use to bread them.
Uh-huh.
It works. It cuts down, it makes it so that you can have more of it, and it's compliant with the 5-in-1.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who's next?
Can you hear me, Connie?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to go next, and then I'm going to leave the meeting and sign back on. The person I would help if I could help one person eat healthier is me.
Aw.
Me. I'm really slipping up, and I really need to get back on track and get my eating together again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to sign out and come back on because I lost my picture.
Okay, we'll wait on you. We'll just finish talking here till we see you, okay?
Okay, hon. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Dorothy?
Oh, I actually have three.
Okay.
I have three favorite meals that I cook, and one of them I had today, a shrimp stir fry. And then I have a meatloaf that I make with turkey, ground turkey and feta cheese and spinach.
Wow. Yeah.
And I also, what was the other one? There was three. I lost it. Anyway, I have salmon patties. I like salmon patties, and they're easy. Yeah,
That's cool.
three.
Lisa?
Oh, I'm gonna go with when I eat a healthy meal out, my favorite place is Subway. Of course, I think I've shared before that I live in the Boonsticks, so that makes it pretty easy for me. About the only place to eat out here is Subway, but the other night I went over there to get a Subway sandwich, had my taste buds all set up for it, and it was closed.
Oh.
Oh,
I came home and I made some chicken and ate some lean cuisine fettuccine.
Mhm.
that's good.
So Lisa, what do you get at Subway? Because you don't eat salad. That's your healthy meal.
Yeah, I get the chicken breast with I just get mustard on it. So no salad. I just basically get the meat and bread. But
Okay.
then I make 2 meals out of it. I eat half
Yeah.
and half like the next day or something.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's good. Anybody else? Are we good? I think that was everybody, right?
I think so.
Cool. Done. And we got 12 days left, less than 2 weeks. Where's the time go? I mean, it just seems like we just started, honestly. They're doing the side-by-sides for the 75 points now. Cheryl, you want me to use the same one?
What, when I check out?
Do you want me to do the side-by-side for you and use the one you sent me last time?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Not the one where I was out in the garden?
No. You 2 challenges ago, you sent me a side-by-side of you.
Oh, okay.
It's on the team wall for your 75 points.
Oh, okay.
You want me to use the
You can
same
use
one?
mine
Yeah.
too.
That'll be good.
You
want me to
can
do-
use my same one too, Mom.
Okay, I'll do that for you.
I got
Anybody
mine
else? You got yours?
already. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Unless something changes, you know.
Yeah.
How long do we have to do this, Connie? A week?
Challenges.
It didn't say.
12 days.
Well, 12 days is how long we have left in the challenge. I'll get an answer to that. I'll get an answer to that and I'll post it, okay?
Okay, and then maybe you can help me do mine and we'll do Dick's.
All right. Drum roll. Here we go. Summer Shape Up. They just announced it. We got a new challenge starting June 13th.
Yay!
I know. I thought they were going to skip summer. I'm so happy it's going to be here. We actually get back from our 16-day vacation on June the 10th, and I go back to work June 12th. So perfect timing for me. Yay, me.
Good.
So I'll be talking, yeah. And what's so funny is we go on vacation the 26th of May, and this one's over with the 22nd. I'm actually going to get to go on a trip and not be in a challenge. I don't know how that works out, but I'm not complaining.
Where are you going?
We're going, we do family reunion, my siblings. We all get to,
This
with our
side, the
spouses.
reunion.
Yeah, we get together the first
We
week in
actually
June.
go to 4 different states: Georgia, Alabama, Virginia, and West Virginia.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We leave down here. We'll go pick up kids in Alabama, great grandkids, and then we'll go over to my daughters in Georgia and spend the night. Then we'll head up to West Virginia, spend the weekend. Then we'll go over to my stepmother's and spend a night or two. And then we'll head back to Georgia and spend time there and play with the great grandkids. And then after that, we'll head back home, and that will be our summer vacation.
Wow.
That's always a lot of fun. Lisa's going to be with us. I don't know.
I can't wait.
Are you going to be down here and ride with us in the van, or are we meeting you?
I'm going to be there and ride with. Either that or meet you at Jeannie's and ride with.
That works too. So we're in week 5. B is in sleeper. This is Marcia, their bird mom. Let me say that. They've started webinars that is challenge wide now, and they are doing an awesome job of motivating and informing. Wouldn't everybody here say that on these new webinars that they're doing?
Yeah.
I love the new webinars. They are outstanding.
Really?
We're getting the best advice from the people who've been at this the longest. It's amazing, and the inspiration is just off the charts. So this week is going to be a Zen, and you can go if you want to, Marsha. I can send you the link. It's not just for people in the challenge.
Okay.
And Be a Mindful Thinker is week 6. So let's start with our Beyond the Biology. And today I think it's about, I wrote what it was about. I think the food, something about the food, eating naturally. That's what it is. So let me know that you can hear it. You want me to mute everybody while I play it?
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Let's see, manage participants, and then I can unmute everybody once it's over with. Here we go.
To me, eating naturally, first of all, is that you're eating natural foods, that you're eating foods as close to the forms in which nature produces them, and not in ways that have been drastically transformed by human intervention. It's whole foods. You know, I grow a lot of my own food. I love growing my own vegetables and some fruits. It means eating whole grain foods rather than foods that are made from flour. That's what I mean by eating naturally. In addition, I would say eating naturally means eating when you're hungry and learning how to eat portions that are reasonable. Seasons definitely come into play. Food that is eaten in season generally tastes better and is more nutritious. That's just an obvious thing, that if you taste fruit that is in season, that's perfectly ripe, it's delicious. When you eat fruit out of season, it tends not to be. Now, this is all complicated by the fact today that we can move food around the world very easily. So we're bringing stuff up from the southern hemisphere in winter here, and we're able to access foods that normally wouldn't be available. But I think that eating seasonally is probably a good idea. In our evolution, fruit was not available to us much of the year. It was only at a certain time of year when there was a lot of fruit available, and that was right before winter, and it made sense to eat a lot of fruit at that time of year. Now we have fruit all year, and that may not be natural to be eating it in large quantities all through the year. I've always been a big proponent of organic agriculture for a number of reasons. I think this is better for the environment, it's better for our soils, it's better for long-term sustainability of agricultural practices. There's a great deal of contention in the research community about the benefits of organic foods, but that's mostly focused on whether organic foods are more nutritious, and I think the research is very divided there. There is some studies that show that organic produce has higher content of antioxidants, possibly because these are defensive compounds that plants produce, and when plants are grown organically, they have greater pressure from insect predation and produce more of these defensive compounds. But other research has demonstrated no nutritional advantages. But that's not really the issue. I mean, the main reason to eat organic is for what you're not getting, that you are reducing your intake of residues of toxic agrochemicals, which can't be good for us. And the only question is how bad they are. Now, recognizing that organic foods are more expensive and often more difficult to get in many parts of the country, I'd say it's most important to learn which crops are most contaminated. And I do follow the Environmental Working Group's lists of the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. You can find these out on the website ewg.org, and they change them periodically. The Dirty Dozen are those crops which always have the highest residues of concerning agrochemicals. Strawberries are always near the top of that list, and peaches and green beans, and there's a number of them there, but it's not everything. And then there's a list of the Clean 15, the least contaminated crops, which include things like avocados and bananas, artichokes. And in those cases, it doesn't make sense to spend the extra money. So I would say if you're dealing with one of the Dirty Dozen crops, to me, it makes sense either to say you're not going to eat it or you're only going to get organic versions. In the other cases, I don't think it matters. GMOs, this is a complex question. Human beings have always been meddling in the genetics of other organisms, and we've done this throughout history by selective breeding and hybridization. And as a result of that, we've created some great things. All of the cabbage family vegetables, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, all of these things were developed from a wild ancestral plant that looks something like a scraggly kale plant. And that plant had within its genome the potential to do all these different things, and human beings made that happen through these conventional methods of selective breeding and hybridization. Now, when you look at that, the question of is that a good or bad thing, I think it depends on the motive behind it. If you're trying to create crops that taste better and are more nutritious, this is good. If you're trying to create crops that work for the convenience of manufacturers or distributors, for instance, if you're trying to produce square, hard tomatoes that pack in boxes better and resist shipping, that's not a good thing. So I think you can apply that same way of thinking to the new GMO technology. The difference now is that we can make changes that would not have occurred in the course of nature. We can take genes from one organism and put them in another organism. Could be good, could be bad, we don't know. For instance, there's been talk of taking a gene that produces an antifreeze protein in flounders that keeps flounders from freezing stiff as boards in icy water, and putting this in strawberries. Well, that could be a good thing. We could grow strawberries at higher latitudes and times a year when you normally couldn't, so there'd be more strawberries for everybody. That could be good. On the other hand, what might be the consequence of human beings eating this flounder protein in greater quantity than they ever have? We don't know. That could cause allergic reactions. Who knows what it could do? So to me, this is the main problem, is that we may not be able to foresee the downstream consequences of making these changes. And we had better hope that the people doing this are thinking that way, and almost certainly they aren't. They're only thinking of immediate profit. So I would say I'm not categorically opposed to genetic modification, but at the very least we should be informed. And it is just astonishing to me that these big companies have been able to convince voters in states like California and Washington that labeling foods as GMO is somehow going to threaten jobs in those states, and those initiatives have been voted down. I think we should all be working, to make that labeling a reality. And you should also know that if a food has the USDA organic seal on it, it cannot be GMO. So that's one way that consumers can be sure that they're not getting GMO products. I've always enjoyed cooking. I'm a good home cook. I'm not a chef. But over the years, people have said, you ought to open a restaurant. Your food is so good. I am now involved in restaurants, and I have produced a number of cookbooks, and I like sharing the ways that I eat with other people. I don't like knocking myself out in the kitchen. I like recipes that work, that are fairly simple, that are very time effective, and are delicious. And it seems to me that the great challenge that I've had over the years is to convince people that there's no opposition between food that is good and food that's good for you. Most people that I meet think that eating healthy means giving up everything you like. And we've all been served food that we've been told is healthy that's just dreadful. And when I go to restaurants that advertise themselves as serving healthy food, usually the food is boring, weird, tasteless, or all of those. And it doesn't have to be that way. So a lot of what I've tried to do is to show people that you can make food at home fairly quickly and simply, as well as inexpensively, that is both delicious and attractive and conforms to cutting-edge nutritional science. If you've never tasted really good food, whole food, maybe the first time you try it, it's not going to appeal to you. And I think if you've grown up on a diet of fast food and artificial food, that's what you like, and that's what you think food should taste like. I remember once having a family stay with me briefly, and I made fresh orange juice, and the kid wouldn't drink it because he said it didn't taste like orange juice. So that's very sad. I also think you can make a case that fast food in particular is truly addictive, and that the people who have designed this have invested a lot of time, money, and energy in figuring out combinations of salt, crunch, taste that appeal to very basic inborn human cravings. It's astonishing to me that when American fast food restaurants appear in other countries, how quickly people shift to them. A friend of mine has a house in southern France near the border of Provence, and told me that when a McDonald's opened there some years ago, there were lines around it at all hours that it was open. I mean, how could that be in a country that has such great food? But you see this everywhere, in Russia and Latin America and China. So there's something incredibly appealing. I don't think it's just that it's novel and American. I think there really are these, something that really appeals to deep inborn, innate cravings. There's also a very interesting bit of research that's come out that fascinates me on the flavoring agents that are put into manufactured food. Over the past, I'd say 60, 70 years, a general trend in our part of the world is that modern agricultural practices and the reduction in the number of varieties of things that we grow and animals that we produce has made food flavorless, and that people, older people remember how chicken used to taste way back when. In response to this tastelessness of modern food, a multi-billion-dollar industry has grown up in flavoring agents. And there are about 6 big chemical companies that produce all of these. Some of them are natural, some of them are synthetic, and none of them are identified on labels. It just says flavors on labels, and that flavors might include dozens of different compounds that are and it's in everything that we buy and eat. And we have no idea what the effects of these things are on the brain. It's possible that some of these are responsible for obesity, for overeating, for addictive eating. We just don't know. But I think that's a very significant possibility. And again, another reason why one should, try to unlearn these habits of eating that kind of food and to shift to whole foods and natural foods. Now, my experience is that when you do that, that eventually the artificial stuff just doesn't taste good anymore. I grew up, as a kid, I drank a lot of Coca-Cola. I was probably addicted to it through my early 20s. I can't even taste that anymore. It just it tastes terrible to me. And I wonder how in my younger days why that seems so delicious. So I think that's true with a lot of things like that that this stuff does not taste good once you get used to eating real food.
Hello, we're all there.
Yes.
Sassy.
I heard Sassy.
Yeah, she's in the other room.
Did y'all enjoy that?
Yes.
Yes.
So I made a couple of notes because I remember when I first found out about the organic food being better for you because it had to create its own defense system. Did y'all catch that and what he said there?
No.
Did y'all catch that?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't catch it always, so that's why I thought that I would point that out. But when they use pesticides and stuff on vegetables, the plant doesn't have to work hard to defend itself. When the plant doesn't have those pesticides, herbicides, that it has to create its own defense systems. And that defense system that those plants that are grown organically create, those are what are good for us. And they actually call it synthesis. The photosynthesis. I have such a hard time with that word.
It's a tough word to say.
Yeah, but that is why organic is good. And then he says, then he went on and said, and the other reason is because of what it doesn't have. So you have really two reasons there why organic is good. Tony and I buy organic when we can. He talked about food being in season, and it's amazing how much everything gets back to nature. And the fact, that's my birds now. Tony, would you mute your computer?
Well, sorry. What can you say?
I did it. I muted you. And the other, now you unmuted you. Now I'm muting you again. Goodbye. There you go. I took care of it. Don't touch it. Anyway, I didn't know that Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage all come from, he said, a plant that looks like kale, right?
Yeah.
So that's interesting in itself, because we all eat. I eat that like it's something separate from everything else. Did anyone in here know that all of those came from a different plant?
No. How'd you know?
Oh, okay. So that was good. That was a good lesson, wasn't it?
I enjoyed it.
Next week, go ahead.
One of the things I remember when he was talking about how organic, it doesn't have the pesticides, so it develops its own immunities.
Right.
That kind of made me remember what they said. I don't know if it was the last lesson or lesson before that, about how the overuse of antibiotics affects your inflammation in your body. That kind of seems like it. I don't know if I'm thinking weird, but it kind of makes sense to me that when they're overusing antibiotics in us, that decreases our body's ability to create its own protective mechanisms. So it seems to me like that works the same in the plants. If it's not has pesticides, then it has to develop its own protections. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, that was a great analogy. Yeah.
Very much. It was good.
Anybody else have something they want to contribute? Okay, I'll take that as a no, and we'll move on to our success story today. There we go.
My name is Brianna, and I used to be obese. As someone who is overweight my entire life, I had been convinced that I was just another statistic, another failed attempt. I smiled in pictures, but it hid the way I really felt about my body. I was tired, and at 29, I was starting to feel the effects of carrying the extra weight. Take Shape for Life was my one last shot before undergoing weight loss surgery. With the help of my coach, Deanne, I started to have hope that the little changes I made every day could lead up to a big difference. I was free to live life with an energy and spirit that I never had before. With more energy, I was a happier mom, a happier wife, and I started to see the value in taking care of myself. Take Shape for Life gave me the freedom to be an example for my family. After a few months, my husband joined me on the journey, and he lost 55 pounds before undergoing knee surgery. Getting healthy together has transformed our marriage as we've added years onto our life and changed the quality of our son's life. Our son has parents that aren't stuck on the sidelines, but have the energy to run around with him, play with him, and try new things. I've been able to be redefined outside of what my body couldn't do before. I used to struggle to even work out, and people always say, oh, now I love working out, but it's true, I love working out. And I'm training for a half marathon now. I started Take Shape for Life on June 26, 2011 at 238.6 pounds. I lost over 100 pounds in a year, and it all led to this moment. Anyways, I just wanted to share with you it's goal day. Now as a health coach, I've had the amazing opportunity to turn what what was so difficult for me for so long into inspiration for others. And I'm not only finding hope myself, I'm giving hope and inspiration to my clients. And it's just been such a blessing to be an inspiration. I can't even tell you what that means. Take Shape for Life has to be myself. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a graduate student, I'm a health coach, I'm a runner, apparently, and I'm empowered, and I'm breaking statistics every day, and I'm taking shape for life.
Excellent, excellent.
That was great.
All right. I enjoyed it tonight. It was nice seeing
I love that. That was one of the best success stories yet.
Yeah.
She makes me cry. She makes me cry. Yeah, the one thing she said that really applies to me too is that it taught her the value of taking care of herself. And I think that is the lesson in it for me too. It taught me the value of taking care of myself. Yeah.
You need to.
Very good. I love it. That was great.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Good night.
See you
Good
next
night,
week.
everyone. See you next week. One more.
Okay,
Bye,
bye.
you all.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
You stay on for a minute, Mom.
Sure. Yeah, I will.
Good night.
Good
Night,
night,
Martha.
everybody. Good night.
I'm
Yeah,
out
I'm
of here.
here, honey. Oh, that made me cry. It made me get tears. So what's up, honey?
I'm out of
Oh,
here.
Oh, wait a minute.